Right then, this is a quick walk around video for an absolutely beautiful CR-V. This is a top of the range 2 litre EX petrol manual car. This car's 64 plate, does cover just 32,000 miles. Finished with some really lovely options as well. It's got the high level rear spoiler, Honda side steps there, and you've got the white grille, upgraded grills on there as well. It all adds up, they're all very subtle. It just gives the car a real substance and look. It is in simply beautiful condition as well. To go around the car, front of the car, and you see the grille at its best there. Lights and lenses clear and intact, there's no cracks or condensation in them. Bonnet, can't see a stench of any note on there at all. Near side of the vehicle, lovely and smooth on the car, no indentations there at all. Near side front alloy, absolutely lovely. It's actually having a fresh pair of front tyres fitted latest there as well. They're just getting a little bit low, so I'm going to get those done. Inside rear alloy, again, beautiful condition there. And again, as I always say, CR-Vs with the side steps and the rear spoiler, rear 3/4 angle, just shows it off at its best. It's a very, very handsome car. Come around the back again, beautifully clean. And the offside, the driver's side, again, just so crisp in the panel work. Rear alloy, again, absolutely unmarked. The remaining panel work is in simply beautiful condition. So externally, I mean, I'm sure there'll be a mark somewhere on it. It's got to be for a 9-year-old car, but you're going to have to look very hard to find one. Come to the boot area now. Cavernous boots on the CR-Vs. CR-Vs are family cars and normally very heavily used, especially in the backs. But this one, it's been kept beautifully. It's coming to the back of the car, wide open rear doors, enormous amounts of leg room. I mean, I can sit behind myself comfortably, and I'm over 6 foot tall. Leather work again for a family car. It's 9 years old. Has been kept in simply gorgeous condition. On the passenger side now, again, all very, very clean and tidy. Full set of original Honda mats in the car. And passenger seat there, not been given an awful lot of use. So on the driver's side, door card again, very clean. Same as the footwell areas. The driver's seat itself, again, for a car of its age, it's been kept simply beautifully. So inside the car, as always, I have the engine running, so the dashboard can be seen illuminated, and again, it just looks absolutely, it's just factory fresh. It's so clean. Sat nav working exactly as it should there. Just put the car into reverse, you can see the rear parking camera, which works perfectly, and obviously that complements the front and rear parking sensors on the car. Just to quickly show you there, 32,073 miles. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all. Finally, just to show you, owner's manual pack and lock and wheel nut key, all here and present with the car. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda CR-V 2 litre EX manual. Car's registered SR64DWY, with mileage of just 32,073 recorded. The reason we do our videos, and especially this bit, is to ensure that if anyone's online, they get to see the very car advertised actually in operation. And the reason we feel it's important is because, like numerous people who have been to see cars which have looked absolutely fine in photographs or description, but only to get there and find out there's an obvious fault that shows up. Also done on these very quiet country roads in this beautiful part of Gloucestershire, and this actually forms part of the road test route we take our customers on, and the hope is that it'll then be representative of what you'd feel yourself should you be offered a test drive in the car. So coming to the car, it comes as no surprise, it starts absolutely instantly and settles to a smooth, even idle. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car, and temperature gauge is running as a third, which is exactly where it's meant to be on a Honda vehicle. The engines are classic Honda 4-cylinder, they are brilliant, very sweet, very refined and quiet. Unbelievably reliable and long lasting with normal servicing. Cam chain driven, so there's no cam belts to worry about on them. But it's just a pleasure to use day in, day out. They're flexible, they're keen to rev, They pull across the entirety of the rev range. It's a lovely engine. Engine then feeds into the clutch and gearbox. Clutch of the car as you'd expect, absolutely perfect, nice and smooth, bites exactly the right point. And the gearbox is typical Honda, one of the best gearboxes you'll ever use. And it starts with the positioning of the gear lever, nice and high up here. The angle of change, the plane of change, is absolutely perfect ergonomically, so you're not kind of fighting with funny angles on your elbow. Short and throw, mechanical, solid in feel. It's joyful to use. I mean, that would go in someone else's sporty car. Honda, you know, do these things brilliantly, and that feels exactly as it would have done when it was new. I can feel no wear in it at all. So coming to the chassis and the steering of the car, Honda were way ahead of the game with the CR-V. When other manufacturers were still giving you cars that sort of drove like trucks, Honda were giving you a CR-V SUV that drove like a normal family car. The steering is precise, it's accurate, it's reasonably quick actually for this type of car. It's got a nice natural weight to it, so the car never feels nervous on the road or vague in any way. And as I say in all the videos of the CR-V, that's not to pretend it's sporty, because it isn't. It's not meant to be. If you're looking for something that's going to give you sort of thrills driving, it's not the car. But it drives beautifully for the type of car it is. It really does. It also tracks dead straight. There's no vibrations at this speed or any speed up to the legal limit. Chassis likewise, absolutely no rattles, clonks, anything from underneath the vehicle at all. The whole car just feels as tight as a drum, which you naturally expect with such low mileage. But the chassis also gives you this, you know, judging ride comfort and comfort of the car is actually, you know, very much a subjective thing. Honda have gone for, which I applaud them for by the way, a very well judged ride. It's very comfortable. The bump suppression is very good on the car, but it allows it to go through corners. It's stiff enough that it doesn't allow for lots of body roll and secondary motions because you're a taller car. So some cars you get into initially feel very comfortable, very pillowy, very nice. But then you start throwing a few corners in, and unfortunately, particularly rear seat passengers, it's really nauseating. But Honda strike a brilliant balance with it, and it's a very hard thing to achieve. But they've always done it very well, which is why the CR-V is such a popular car. Just going to come to the brakes now. I know they're good, but really good brake pedal on the car, nice and powerful, no pulsing, no vibrations coming back through the pedals, all in fine fettle. And then coming inside, CR-Vs are brilliantly put together cars, but they don't shout about it. Again, you know, my pet hate with lots of motoring magazines is that when they talk about build quality, they seem obsessed, absolutely obsessed by how doors are they funky sounding, are the materials all soft and squidgy, you know, because they look substantial and they sound substantial. It means nothing in reality, apart from the fact it makes you feel good, which I can understand, but it's over the long term of ownership. This car, I know it's only low mileage, but it could have done twice, 3 times mileage, would still feel the same. They hardly ever exhibit a squeak or a rattle from inside. They're beautifully bolted together, but Honda understand what the car's going to be used for, so they make it hard wearing. So if kids knock things or bash against things or spill things, they're easy to clean, easy to keep in nice condition. You know, I've driven some of the, you know, so-called, you know, very well made cars, and they give you absolute rattle boxes at this sort of age. So this is proper build quality. It's also a fabulous place to sit and drive a car. You've got brilliant visibility all around in the car, helped by these huge wing mirrors, which, you know, when you're doing lane changing on the motorway or manoeuvring, give you a lot of confidence in the vehicle. Quite a low dash line, so you can see ahead. You can actually see the bonnet of the car, which is a minor miracle on a modern car. But the dash layout itself is very simple and quite intuitive to use. Normally 2 or 3 days sat in the car using it, pressing the buttons, and you pretty much mastered it. It's very simple indeed. Everything's working exactly as it should. You've got your large screen sat nav, again working exactly as intended. Sorry, just someone overtaking exactly where they shouldn't be. There we go. Must have been a rush. So we're all working exactly as they should. Then you've got dual zone climate control system directly underneath, separate panel, which I really like Honda doing. Pumps out absolutely ice cold air. All the switch gear you're going to press on the Honda has a kind of rubbery, precision, high quality feel to it. They do all this stuff brilliantly well. Heated seats again working exactly as they should. Dash binnacle in front. It's just simple, legible dials. It's very easy to take the information in. They're just crisp. Again, Honda have always done that fabulously well. Lovely backlighting, and then you've got this lovely small down to leather bound steering wheel. I mean, the car's in beautiful condition inside and out. Whoever gets it next, very lucky indeed. This is a four-wheel drive version of the CR-V, albeit you don't do anything. Again, Honda worked out right away from the original concept back in the mid-90s that most people will be driving as I am right now. We don't need four-wheel drive on. So basically, it runs in front-wheel drive, two-wheel drive pretty much the whole time. Only if it needs to go into four-wheel drive, it'll do it. So if you pulled away on sort of a bit of mud, snow, ice, whatever, it'll seamlessly bring in the rear-wheel drive to give you four-wheel drive. It's fantastic in operation, absolutely fantastic, and the advantages of it are patently obvious. You're going to get through your tyres less quickly, you're not going to use as much fuel, and it puts far less mechanical stress through the vehicle. So much so, and I always say, we've been selling these things for nearly 3 decades, and I cannot remember putting a spanner on the four-wheel drive system on any of them, and that's thousands that were sold now. It is robust indeed. This car, I hate saying it, literally just drives like new. I cannot fault it in any way.